I actually was very hyped about Phantom Liberty DLC when it was announced. I mean, not only we would get a overhaul of the whole combat system, which, you know, CD Projekt Red's ability of making good combat systems are questionable. So yeah, awesome, and I'm looking forward to play the shit out of this game. And by the way, hello! This is a new yet unnamed series on this channel where we complete DLCs, small games and everything in between that doesn't really require 150 hours of gameplay to platinum or 100%. So today we have Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, and let's jump right in.
Trophy hunter, we're on a quest for fame. Gotta conquer every game, leave a mark in the Hall of Fame.
And before we start, let me just tell you that out of 13 achievements in this DLC, 8 are story driven, so be prepared for some major spoilers. So first of all, I have to learn how to play the game again, because my previous playthrough was long before the major overhaul and patch 2.0. So it took me like 40 minutes to reassign all my skill points, but I still managed to fuck up the build, which is, well, not surprising. I'm really bad at this. I mean, my build in the original game was like running around with Ashura, which is a smart sniper rifle. A sniper rifle you don't really even need to aim with. I mean, it just kind of like headshots everybody. So, yeah. In any case, we start the DLC by receiving a distress call from someone named Songbird, a hacker working for the president of New USA, Rosalind Myers. Songbird says that they are bound to crash in a lawless district of Night City called Dogtown, and before we refuse her generous offer, she of course says that she knows about the Relic, Johnny, and essentially can cure us.
Very funny. This is a prank. Not in the mood, if so.
So of course we agree and eventually save Madam President from Dogtown Grunts under command of Kurt Hansen, local warlord. And after defeating a shit ton of guys at the crash site, we get our first achievement, All the President's Men.
Rapid fire! Keep 'em busy!
And after that we continue with the story and escort Myers to safety. On our way to the safe house we're attacked by Hansen's people in the old Militech museum again, but Songbird, whose whereabouts are unknown actually, helps us by hijacking a big ass Militech tank called Chimera. But of course everything goes to shits and Chimera goes apeshit crazy, so naturally we have to defeat it.
Loose hatch me! Now or never! Send it to the scrapyard! V, catch! Give it a taste!
Rust and piss, shitbot!
Nicely done. Good fucking riddance.
Eventually we escort Myers to a safe house and she tasks us to contact Solomon Reed, a NUSA Secret Service sleeper agent located in Dogtown, who can extract her out of this hellhole to safety. And I know that this is a gameplay conditionality, for the lack of the better word, but after this mission I can actually leave and enter Dogtown freely. So there's actually not much sense in contacting Reed. V could have just put Myers in an armored car with no windows and pull her out of Dogtown himself. But oh well. In any case, before we proceed with the story, I go ahead and clear some of the side gigs that we have unlocked by now. Most of them involve our new old friend Mr. Hands, who basically had like one gig in the main game, but becomes our go-to man in Dogtown.
V in Dogtown. My. Yet again with my favorite merc this side of the Sierra Nevadas.
Only did the one gig for you, far as I recall.
Apart from Hands, we also get some side missions from El Capitan, a fixer from Santo Domingo, and his requests are mainly about stealing cars, which is a nice homage to GTA, I guess? So after delivering a couple of cars to him, we also get a separate mission about stealing an Arasaka medical truck. The drama here is that Arasaka, of course, it's a mega corporation, have been pumping some chemicals into the water and soil of Santo Domingo for decades, and a lot of people who grew up there have major health issues now. So stealing their medical truck will actually save a lot of lives, so of course we go ahead and help our friend. And in the end we not only get an achievement but also a cool new car. Wow, look at that.
Cheers to you, V.
Thanks, El Capitan. Take care.
And while we are still roaming the streets of Dogtown, I also decide to tackle 3 side bosses of the DLC. Basically, all of them are hiding in some hard to notice places, but the marker will appear on the map if you come close enough. The bosses are not super hard, but all of them are different. There's your typical soldier guy buffed with military grade implants, a netrunner voodoo boy, and finally a den of scavengers who managed to hijack an Arasaka drone. And after dealing with all 3 of them and getting their iconic weapons, we also receive an achievement, Judgment Day.
You betray the law!
Oh well, now I want to rewatch Judge Dredd. What a great movie. And also, am I the only one who likes Carl Urban Judge Dredd more than Sylvester Stallone? Let me know in the comments. I haven't rewatched the Sylvester Stallone one for like ages. Maybe need to do that. I remember it being like super goofy, but at the same time quite fun. And finally, before continuing with the story, we get wanted level 5 by demolishing some Barges guys inside Dogtown. And I actually did this completely on accident. I think I just kind of like ran over a Barges guy and they started shooting at me and I started shooting at them. And then one thing after another, the max tech came in and killed me. So yeah, fun. Nice. So after that, we go through the rest of the story, we contact Solomon Reed, played by Idris fucking Elba. And I have to say that these awesome collaborations is the highlight of Cyberpunk for me. Keanu Reeves and now Idris, it's awesome. And he's looking fresh as hell here. So Reed extracts Madame President to safety, and after that she tasks us with the mission of actually finding and rescuing Songbird. Songbird appears to be taken hostage, or so we think at the beginning, by none other than Kurt Hansen, the big bad of Dogtown. We manage to get into the party where we actually meet Songbird in person, and she reveals that Hansen has the cure that she has promised us. The cure is in a form of a neural matrix chip that contains a rogue AI from beyond the black wall. And yeah, I hope you're following me, there's a lot to take in. Since Songbird can speak to us directly through the relic, she also tells us that she does not intend to go back to being President's lapdog and instead wants to use the matrix to heal V and herself, because it is revealed that she is also dying, but from the black wall exposure. And just in case, black wall is like a firewall between the humanity and mad ChatGPT that is like lurking on the other side of the cyberspace. And the black wall is like defending everything.
Let me in! Let me in!
Songbird, she's like tapping into the black wall so she can use the power of those rogue AIs or something, and she can like hack everything and do everything, but it takes the toll on her body, of course. Reed, on the other hand, makes it clear that he wants to recapture Songbird and bring her back to Noosa's service, so I guess it's obvious what choices we have to make. We steal identities of 2 Netrunner twins, and I wonder if I still have to take the identity of a male twin even if I played as FemV. Disguised, we infiltrate Hansen's base, and at the moment of extracting the neural matrix, we are faced with a choice. Betray Songbird according to Reed's plan, or betray Reed to support Songbird. And now let's pause here for a little bit. So at this moment, even though I did not spoil myself the ending, I'm pretty sure about the choices I want to make. But since we need to go through all possible endings for achievements, I will start with my least preferable choice and work my way towards the true one. So we decide to betray Songbird, and she of course loses her shit and lets Black Wall possess her for good, wreaking havoc everywhere. Somehow we make it out alive, killing Hansen on the way, and meet up with Reed. We witness Songbird being apprehended by MaxTac, and naturally our next mission is to ambush MaxTac convoy and get Songbirds to Noosa's hands. We do exactly that, and the fight with MaxTac was actually quite fun. Nevertheless, Songbird manages to escape to an underground Militech facility where we have to find our way through the labyrinth of an underground lab in order to reach her. It also doesn't help that we are constantly chased by a Black Wall possessed robot. It actually gave me some flashbacks to the time when I was tricked into streaming Soma way back in 2018. Ugh.
Locked. Gotta find a way in fast. Oh shit!
In the end, we find Songbird inside the giant metallic sphere, where she was trying to reconnect to Blackwall, but at this moment she is too weak. She asks V to kill her and end her suffering, a request I promptly agree to.
Alright, Somi.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for everything.
Bad news.
What?
We killed Songbird and ruined everything.
Oh no! Anyway, last week...
And finally, we bring Songbird's body to Night City border and hand her over to Nusa's agents. Devastated, Reed shambles away into the desert, contemplating his choices. Whew. And that's the first ending. We end up discussing the events with Johnny, who of course has his own perspective on everything, and after a heartfelt talk, we end up getting the King of Cups achievement.
You've changed.
For better or worse?
Guess we'll find out. Come on, let's go.
Ah, shit!
And after that we quickly load the save, and this time I choose not to euthanize Songbird. In this branch, Reed comes and takes the unconscious Songbird away. The rest of the story is more or less the same. The dialogues change a bit while we transport Songbirds to the edge of Night City, where Reed still questions his choices and wonders whether he did everything correctly this time. He didn't. Myers tries to give us a medal, which I of course refuse. It's bullshit.
Didn't do all this for a medal. Because I had no choice. Trying to survive, not collect scrap.
Bitch, I said what I said.
And finally, we are still eligible for the cure, and we should wait for a call from Reed anytime soon. Johnny of course disapproves of our actions, and after conclusive talk with him back at our apartment, we get our second ending achievement, the King of Pentacles.
No, just, didn't realize that under that prick rocker boy exterior, you're nothing but a big old softie.
Yeah. Fuck you too.
And from here we load an earlier save, the one just before extracting the neural matrix. This time we go with Songbird's plan. We steal the matrix and escape Hansen's tower in the ensuing chaos. Songbird says that she knows someone on the moon who can actually use the neural matrix and asks we to escort her to the Night City spaceport. Everything of course goes not according to the plan, and we get ambushed by Reed and Myers. They have also brought a small army of Nusa operatives, so in the end we have to fight through hundreds of them in order to get to the shuttle. One of the coolest things here is that we actually get to use the black wall, and that basically gives V an ability to one-shot everybody in their vicinity. Finally, in the end, Songbird drops the biggest plot twist of the game on us. The neural matrix can be used only once, and she, of course, intends to use it on herself.
Song?
Reed's not the only one I've betrayed.
What do you mean, Song?
Neural Matrix V can only be used once.
Once? How so?
It's a captive AI from beyond the wall. Relies on continuous evolution to exist. I'll free it and end the process. It'll then execute my commands and disintegrate irretrievably.
This actually had me furious, and I lash out at Songbird through dialogue options. Though at the same time, the fact that she actually played everyone, Reed, Myers, Hansen, and even V, is quite impressive. Right before entering the shuttle, we are confronted by Reed, who tries to convince V to hand over Songbird and promises us the cure again. Out of sheer respect to Songbird's wit, I refuse and we have to kill Reed in order to get to the shuttle. Kinda sad, but I can say Reed was actually a good guy all the way, so yeah. Sad, but not sad. We see the shuttle fly away, and Johnny even commends us to have the massive balls to let Songbird go, which, I must say, flattering. So in the end we decide to focus on our own path from now on, and after another talk with Johnny, we finally get our next ending achievement, the King of Wands.
Fucking with NUSA plans, launching a half-dead cyborg into orbit. Adds bricks to that edifice called Legend. But clock's ticking, friend. You're dying. Gotta do something about it.
Well done here then. So, what now?
No. I believe I would like to sit here for a while.
Finally, I load the save just before speaking with Reed, and this time I agree to hang Songbird over. Reed takes her away, ensuring us that he will let us know when the cure is ready. Johnny scolds us this time for ruining Songbird's life, but I don't really agree with him here. You see, for me personally, this ending makes a bit more sense. If I was V for real, this is probably what I would do. I think V has the full right to be angry at Songbird after all he has been through, just to get hit with the fact that he was used all along. Handing over her to Reed may not be the most honorable thing to do, but then again, what is honor in such a shitty place like Night City? Nevertheless, we receive the fourth ending achievement, King of Swords, and finally we can go for true ending route and also do a bit of cleanup.
Don't get used to it.
So the first thing we do as part of the cleanup is finish a special quest from Mr. Hans about appointing new leader of Dogtown, since Kurt Hansen is dead. It's actually not a lot to write home about. We have two candidates, and Hans wants us to assume a role of a legendary Voodoo Boys hitman and shift the scales in favor of the candidate that he wants. We visit Hansen's funeral and get to choose his successor. Depending on the choice, we get some additional rewards from Hans, but not much will change after that.
No one moves a goddamn inch, or you join Yago!
Yes, sir.
Yago always belonged under Bennett, just not necessarily 6 feet under him. Still, I'm pleased his contacts weren't buried with him.
Over now. What happened, happened, Hans. Time to live with it.
Do you know what else happened, V? I just reduced your cut. I hope you can live with that. That'll be all for now. I'll be in touch.
Finally, I go ahead and complete the remaining side gigs available in Dogtown. It's just a few of them left by now, and while it will take another 1 hour long video to go through all the awesome side gigs this DLC can offer, I still wanted to highlight 2 of my favorite ones. The first one is the Prophet's Song, where we finally get a conclusion to Gary the Prophet storyline from the main game. In this quest, Gary still babbles about some nonsensical conspiracy theories, well, as always, but in the end he reveals that he actually has a bugged chip in his head that allows him to listen to the reptiloids and vampires he keeps talking about. He tips us off that there will be a meeting somewhere in Watson, and we decide to go and have a look. And while waiting, there's also probably the best piece of dialogue with Johnny in the entire game.
The time has come for a close encounter of the third kind. A small step for V, but a giant leap for humankind. Who are you betting on showing up? The reptilians or techno-necromancers?
The Spanish Inquisition.
I admit, I didn't expect that.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
And what do you know? There's really a meeting in a place that Gary was talking about. More to that, if you listen closely, you will hear some cryptic lines of the dialogue that actually hint that Gary is not that crazy.
Can't believe it. Some actual conspiracy shit going down right now.
What says the Wolf Father to the Moon Mother as she descends to Earth?
I have protected the realm of man and shadow, but today they are protected by our children, whose name is patricide.
And upon returning to Gary, we only find one of his followers in his place, hinting that Gary was taken away for knowing too much.
Where's Gary? What happened?
I warned him! Some black suits came by, blue eyes and all, looked just like he said. Then they threw him in an AV and flew him to the mothership!
And the second quest that was a lot of fun is Dazed and Confused. Mr. Hans gets in touch with V, letting him know about a peculiar business opportunity. A well-known braindance star, Lina Malina, has reportedly been abducted and is currently being held in a studio called Brainporium. We go there but only find a strange guy named Tool pretending to be Malina locked in the basement and his friend Shank guarding him. Actually, did you get that? Tool and Shank? Like a tool shank? No? Well, okay. Shank tells us that Tool, a devoted admirer of Lina, has begun to identify as her following a blackout during one of the brain dances. And after discussing Tool's delusion with Shank, V is sent to Lina's dwelling. So our plan is to convince Lina to create a new brain dance together with Tool, essentially producing a doppelganger film featuring both the real Lina and the Tool Lina. So we convince Lina, but upon arrival at Brainporium, V discovers Lina and Tool in the midst of an argument, prompting V to take charge of directing the Braindead's production. So providing we did good, the shoot will yield additional rewards. And following that, Lina also sends us a message expressing the Braindead's success and their plan to relocate to Night City for further production. Yeah, this is just some top-notch Black Mirror type of quest that is just impossible not to like. Of course, there's many more cool quests in Phantom Liberty, and I urge you to complete all of them if you haven't done so already. In any case, after completing the final side gig, which was the heaviest of hearts for me, we also receive the achievement.
You are the master of your emotions, V. Remember that.
And finally, before advancing to the last part of the DLC, I quickly uncover all Militech terminals to fully level up Relic perk skill tree, so now we are ready to tackle on the ending. So from here I just wait for a call from Reed to say that the cure is ready. And to be honest, wow, this ending hits hard. I have to say that I really did not expect it to be so fucking unbelievably sad.
Think this is it, kiddo?
Yes. So?
Promise me one thing, will you?
I promise. No idea what, but I promise.
Not asking you to never give up. Sometimes, you gotta let go.
So we get into a surgery or whatever they were doing to V in order to remove the relic cancer, and surprisingly it goes well. We are greeted by Reed, who says that the surgery was a success. But the twist here is that we fell into coma for 2 years and we can't use any chrome anymore, nothing beyond some super basic implants. Never. Sheesh. V of course starts to call all his friends and most of them kinda just moved on. Johnny is erased. Panam wouldn't return the calls, Judy is married now and out of Night City, Ward is a fugitive, and Carrie is on tour, so he doesn't really have time to talk. The only guy who is really happy to hear from us is our boy Victor. He assures V that the doctors are wrong about the implants and asks us to pay him a visit. We come to his clinic at the usual place and it turns out he got into a contract with Z Attack, so he's a corporate now, which is basically everything Victor hated all the time. V confirms our diagnosis and eventually we're forced out of the clinic because he has other Z-attack patients. On our way back we get beat up by some local goons, because V is now a usual person, so he doesn't really have the means to defend himself anymore. We meet Misty, who also changed a lot, and she says that she's also leaving Night City for good, but reassures V that everything will be okay.
I can tell you how I bounced out of the last dark pit I was in.
Can you?
Turned out that an old friend of mine is still alive.
Know what? I think you're right. No point in giving up. Maybe... dunno, I'll be a fixer.
We walk her to the taxi and bid farewell, and after that V disappears in the crowd, blending with the rest of the NPCs. Shit, this is just sad. I've read a lot of critique online that this is the worst ending in the video game history, but I think it is good. I mean, it's not the best ending, and it's definitely not the ending I would pick for my V, but then again, how many really good endings are there in Cyberpunk? If you count it around 0, then you're probably right. There's no happy endings in Night City, and it's actually very cyberpunkish. I mean, I wrote a diploma work on sci-fi in general and cyberpunk in particular, so I may have read most of the cyberpunk novels there is. And believe me, most of the books end in very similar fashion to at least one of the endings we have in the game. Anyway, great game. If you haven't played it yet, play it. Even if you watched this whole video and got through all the spoilers, make your own choices. So yeah, this is it guys, and I'm really glad I played through the DLC. The game have had some issues in the past, but it is a certified hood classic now. So, 8 out of 10.
Trophy hunter, we're on a quest of fame. Gonna conquer every game, leave a mark in the Hall of Fame. Trophy hunter, we're unstoppable and strong. Gonna keep on pushing forward till victory is won. Trophy hunter, we're unstoppable and strong.